I took a break from YouTube in order to focus more on my art and my comic book. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on a comic book about my world building project, Chromaverse. If you want to learn more about the world, you can check out my Chromaverse playlist in the description below. While making these videos, I noticed that I was putting more attention on being a consistent YouTuber than I was on consistently learning how to get better with my art. I tried testing out different content styles with more candid and less edited videos. Although they helped, I was still stagnating with the actual comic book I was making. When I realized this, I started putting more thought into the actual comic book I'm writing. I found it really easy to fall into the world building rabbit hole where I continue finding different ideas to incorporate into my world without actually starting the main story. I may have brought this up in a previous video or stream, but I was world building to a point where I started losing touch with the whole reason why I wanted to create this world in the first place, which was my original character, Noah Aldrich. I decided to go back to the drawing board and start writing my story. When I started writing, I found myself pouring more and more time into figuring out the story, and to be honest, it felt super refreshing and exciting to finally bring to fruition the story of Noah Aldrich. While writing, I also grew so much by unintentionally experimenting and trying new things that aligned with my interests. I experimented with title art, character expression, art style, isometric art, background art, and creating new characters for my story while trying new designs I wouldn't have before. I also returned to traditional art and found out what I liked about mixing traditional and digital media. I learned that I had a faulty outlook on my art as a YouTuber, and because of my stunted mindset on YouTube videos, I thought I had to have a finished product at the end of the week so that I can make a video out of it. Instead of enjoying the process and allowing myself to grow organically, I allowed my short-sightedness to prevent me from growing. I forgot the beauty of sharing my process in a candid approach with my audience, and I fell into social media rabbit hole and got caught in that rat race of production for the sake of content. Taking the time off while unintentionally really allowed me to return back to my roots of being an artist and allowed me to gain a new, refreshed outlook upon my content as a YouTuber and what I want to achieve with my channel. And in this break, I was really able to reconnect with my interests and find ways to study and deepen my understanding of art in a way that brought me joy throughout the process. Making a comic book solo is really hard. Not only do you need to know how to write, but you also need to know so many fundamentals in art and also master them. The media honestly is super intense, and to be honest, it humbled me during my experience. I've primarily been doing character design work for the past year, and while I'm not mad at that, my other fundamentals started to lack a bit. When I noticed this, I started tackling what made me the most uncomfortable with my art: backgrounds, perspective, and figure in perspective. To be honest, learning was going pretty smoothly, the typical boxes and reference studies, but I really want to gain the ability to draw backgrounds and scenes from imagination. So I looked up on YouTube how to draw perspective from imagination. A lot of what I was seeing was mentioning how masters would draw their surroundings a lot, and that's mainly how they improved. Personally, I really don't like observational drawing studies since I find them to be so boring, but I decided to bite the bullet anyways. I sat down and drew a scene in my backyard. And to be honest, I did not really enjoy this study. I think from here on, I also found it really hard to enjoy studying art and improving in art. I started feeling overwhelmed at the amount of things I had to learn, both within my art and within my writing. Also, while I was writing, I started realizing how much more I had to explain my world and continue polishing, which has also added to the overwhelming feeling of needed to do so many things and learning how to do so many things at once. Thankfully, the weekend was coming and I allowed myself to rest, and I prayed to God that He can illuminate a method of learning where I can enjoy the process of growing my skill. That time I spent with God really helped me as I was able to disconnect from the overwhelming clutter and meditate in the presence of God. I recently re-downloaded Overwatch after not playing it for a long while. I originally stopped playing the game because I felt that it lost the plot of the game and story, which then affected its characters, which is the main reason I grew so attached to the game in the first place. So seeing the massive lore update they dropped recently and the 5 new characters they released really sparked my interest. And stepping into the game again honestly felt super refreshing since the whole game season feels like a soft reboot. It really revived my interest in the game world and its characters, and I started watching lore videos about the current story and its new characters like Emre. Learning more about the world and how much thought they put into it inspired me so much. I already had a close connection to the game since I loved the game so much when I was a kid and watching people play it, and getting my hands on it for the first time all those years ago honestly felt like a Spider-Man canon moment. The character art and design has always captured my interest, which was only amplified with how diverse the character roster is. It felt like all these feelings came back at the same time, so it was really awesome playing again and really feeling the joy of the gameplay. I wanted to funnel those interests and enjoyment into my own character designs, which I must admit was already inspired by Overwatch. A couple months ago, I did a costume design class with Gabriel Quinn, and one of the assignments was taking a design and breaking down the symbolism of the design and what the different motifs meant for the character story and personality. I wanted to take it a step further and also make changes to one of the designs I was analyzing. I love the Street Fighter designs, but I felt that Juri Han's Street Fighter 6 base design did not communicate her character well. I did some slight changes about what I thought could amplify her design, and I honestly had so much fun doing this practice. I learned a lot about my own design preferences while altering Juri's design and how I can apply what I learned into my own characters. I love the look of Overwatch characters and the overall style of the game, and I already did some design analysis on some Overwatch characters on that design course, but I want to actually alter some designs like I did with Juri and find out what about the base Overwatch designs speak to me and how I would make changes based on my own preferences. This was a really refreshing practice, and it really made known to me what I liked within designs and what I prioritize. When I started altering Tracer's base design, I really wanted to incorporate the lore functionality for her character. In her story, Tracer was a pilot on an experimental flight program where she was testing a teleporting plane called the Slipstream. The test went wrong and Tracer became a living ghost, unable to anchor herself within reality. Her body was phasing in and out of time, and so to stop this, her friend Winston created a device called the Chronal Accelerator, which is the chest piece she wears. This allows her to stay anchored within the current timeline and unlocked her blink and recall abilities. I love this design so much, but I thought the functionality of it was not really practical. Her story implies that she has to wear this device at all times. I imagine this can be uncomfortable when she sleeps or does regular life stuff. So I decided to change it where the Chronal Accelerator is a lot smaller and looks like Iron Man's arc reactor. The breastplate she puts on would connect directly to her Chronal Accelerator, functioning like a Chronal amplifier, giving her the enhanced abilities. So within the redesign, I obviously altered her clothing to show her base Chronal Accelerator, but also removed some of the details and smoothed some parts over to prioritize clarity in the silhouette. Doing this redesign showed me that I really focus on practicality, functionality, and clarity in my design. I also did a quick Ashe redesign, but something I noticed while working on this one was the boundary between inspiration and application. I love the inspiration that Overwatch gives me through the lore of the game, and the character designs I love most are the ones that are directly intertwined with the world building like Emre or Sigma. Working on these redesigns and really sinking my teeth into the Overwatch world really amplified my love for my own projects. Returning back to my original characters honestly felt like home. I love that I'm able to fully experience a world, but I love even more when I'm able to funnel those experiences through my own characters. So I guess the secret to unlocking your creativity is to experience exploration. Whatever your passion is, whether that's music, coding, fashion design, or cooking, I truly believe that really diving deep into what you like and what drives you to create as a person will really fuel you to make something true to you. Don't create for the world. Create what makes you happy. What I loved most about this break is that I was able to develop something and spend my time on something that made me feel like a kid again. Coming up with new ideas and characters that excited me made me really believe that the possibilities are endless. The truth is, to know your art is to know yourself. If you're not creating from who you are, then you're not creating, you're just replicating. There's so much content in the world that it's a waste of time to try and make something that'll click with everyone. Making something from yourself and for yourself means that you'll find a community that has the same interests as you and will really resonate with what you have to offer because they'll see the heart you put into it. Do not deny your instincts to explore and challenge what you can accomplish. Respect the process of growth and understanding as much, if not more than, the finished product itself. Part of being confident in your art or whatever you do is being unbothered or unafraid. Focus on learning through exploration instead of trying to get it right. Whenever you create something, it is inseparably connected to your experiences and who you are as a person. The only way an idea will feel less original is if you disconnect yourself from the idea to make it more quote-unquote palatable. The most important thing you can do as an artist is recognize how your work makes you feel. Don't be so concerned about the concept of originality or uniqueness. The goal is not originality. The goal is the impact on the audience and how you can transform someone's thought through your own ideas.